is please turn off your video and audio throughout this webinar session. If you have any, there will be a question and answer session at the end of this presentation. So you can ask me at the end of this presentation, or feel free to stop me in the middle. Okay, so just introduce myself. My name is James Kang, and I'm the Principal Application Engineer of TechSoft Systems Malaysia. And this is my contact. So if you have any technical questions that you would like to ask us, you can write to me, and we'll try to help to solve your issues. So today I'm going to share with you a webinar on how you can create and share apps with using MATLAB. Okay, this presentation will take around 45 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you today is I'm going to start off by introducing to you the app designer. First, I'm going to show you the interface when you open the app designer, and then how you can design a simple applications with the app designer, and also what are callbacks. Okay. Then, after finishing the app, creating the app, and you're happy with it, then I'll show you how you can share your applications with others. And there are 3 ways I'm going to share with you today. Firstly is by creating package apps. This is where you share your apps with others when they have MATLAB. This is the best way. Second way is how you can deploy it as web applications. And the third way is to create standalone desktop applications. So this is where you share when the other party does not have MATLAB installed, and here is where you use things like what we call as MCR. MCR stands for MATLAB Compiler Runtime. Okay. And before I end the presentation, I'll show you a demo. Okay, so the first thing to do is to open the app designer interface is by typing app designer on the MATLAB command prompt. And after typing the this tool will appear. Okay. So this is the app designer interface. So what you can see is that you have the component library over here, you have the canvas over here, or in other words, this is the form where you can build your GUI. And then what you can do is just you can drag your components from your component libraries. Okay, example in here, if you want your axis, you can just drag them onto your form. You want a button, you can just drag them onto your form. So on this form, there are many other things that I will show you later on. So as you drag, when you put this thing on, on the form, okay, on the right side on the component browser, your UI figures will appear automatically. So this will appear in a hierarchy. Okay, and also at the bottom left, you can see the properties of the components that you have put onto your canvas. So, example, in these properties is where you can change the outlook of your components. Example, you want to change the text, the size of the text, the color, the font, etc. Okay, so when we build an app, we usually have this thing what we call as a callback. To go to the callback, what we do is we right click on the component and then we select callback. And or you can also go to your component browser, right click here and then change and then select callback. So what is a callback? A callback is a function that is invoked when a user interacts with the applications. Okay, so when application is done, the app will remain on the screen until the user click on the app, or maybe do a checkbox or select from a list of a drop down menu, or turn a knob. So whatever that the user does, this is what we call as events, and then this will then invoke the callback, or execute the callback when it is being selected. Okay. So, and usually when you most of the components that are here, you have two types of callbacks. One is we call as the value change function, and the second one is what we call as value changing function. What is the difference is value change function, because this is changed. So what happens is this callback will only be executed when the user finish doing the changes. And for this value changing function callback, this will only execute when the user is while he's doing the example, like when you are changing a slider, while you are changing a slider, the callback will be executed. Okay, so this is happening during when you are changing the callback. Okay, so when you click the callback, automatically this code all will be done for you in MATLAB, and this is what we call as a callback function. Okay, so in a callback function, there are two inputs and no outputs. Okay, so this input app, this contains all the information about your app, and then this contains all the information of the actions that you do on the app. Okay, so okay, I will show you a demo on how you can create the app after this. And next, I'm going to show you is how you, after you have done your apps, okay, after you have completed doing your apps, how you can share your apps with your colleagues. So as you can see in here, it says create app when you share this app with MATLAB users. So when you select this option, right, MATLAB applications, when you package the app, this will create an install file. So let me show you. Okay, when you click on this, this tool will appear. This is the tool that you use to package your app. So what you need to do is just key in your main file, and then all the supported files that are related to this app. And then you can key in your details, the author name, your email, company, and what this app does, the description of the app, and then you package it. And after you package it, you will get something like this. Okay, so this is after packaging. You can see it's called ML app install. Okay, and if you see the one at the top, ML app, this is the one that is before you package it. This is the original file that you are going to work with. Okay, so what you need to do is then take this ML app install and then just share it with your colleagues, your friends, your boss, etc. And then they just need to double click on this thing to install it on their own MATLAB version. Okay, and the version of the MATLAB has to be the same. Okay. The second way of sharing is how we can deploy it to the web. Okay, and just to take note, this web app here is for intranet, which means the network within your company. And this is intranet is only available if you're using MATLAB compiler. Okay, and if you want to share it on the internet, there's also another option, but we are not going to covering it today. This is by using another toolbox called as MATLAB production server. Okay, so similarly, when you click on this web app, there will be the tool that comes out. You just fill in the file that you are working on, click package, and then after you package it, this CTF or .ctf file will appear. So what you do with this .ctf file is you put it into your web app folder. Okay, just put it in the web app folder and then go to your website. Okay, and then you can already see your app on the web. Okay, so so before that, what you need to do is install your web app server first. It's very easy. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the link where you can install this web server. It's just an installation process. It's free. Okay, and then you will get this window here. Okay, and just click on this buttons here to know what your web page is, and also the app folder to know where your app folder is. Okay, so again, package your app as a .ctf. Okay, click on the app folder, open the app folder, drag your .ctf onto the web app folder, and then just go to your web page and your app will be there. Okay, I'll show this to you after this. Okay, the last way is what we call a standalone desktop application. So this is actually an executable. Okay, and this is using MATLAB compiler, and this is royalty free, which means that if you are going to share this with all your colleagues that doesn't have MATLAB, they don't have to pay royalty. You can deploy infinite amount of this app. So similarly, when you click on this, there will be a GUI that appears. Fill in the necessary details. Okay, and then you will, after you package, you will get this folder. Okay, and then I'm going to show you later on. I will turn off my MATLAB and everything and show you that I'm going to run it from the command prompt just to prove to you that it is running without MATLAB. Okay, so now let's go to the demo. Okay, so this is my MATLAB. Okay, for maybe some of you are new to MATLAB, so this is where you can actually type your codes. Okay, this is where you can test your codes. Okay, and this is what we call as a current folder. This is where all your stuff has to be if you want to work on it. Okay, and this is the workspace. Workspace is a temporary folder to keep your variables. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I go to app is I'm going to generate some a simple script, and then we are going to use this script on the app. Okay, so first I'm going to do a variable on sampling frequency. Okay, so the sampling frequency, I'm going to call it as a fs, and I'm going to put it as 8192 hertz. Okay, and then I'm going to also define the signal frequency. Okay, here I'm going to call it as f signal. Okay, and I'm going to call this one as just 2 hertz. Okay. Okay, and then next I'm going to create the time, and the time I'm going to set from t equals to 0. Okay, at the increment of 1 divided by our sampling frequency, 1 divided by 8192, so it's a very small increment up to your time. Okay, let's put 1 second. Okay, or you can just set this end time. I'm going to put it as 1 second over here. Here I'm going to put as end time. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to create a sine wave, a sine signal. Okay. So to create a sine signal, I'm going to set y equals to sine 2 times pi times f, the frequency of the signal. So now I'm going to use fc instead of fs, times the time. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to plot the signal. So I'm going to plot this as t versus y, t in the x-axis and y in the y-axis, and then I'm going to turn on the grid. Okay, so I've done my codes, and then I'm going to run it. Okay, I'm going to save it as my script. Okay. So after I run the code, this will appear. Okay, so you can see that what this means is that I put the time from 0 to 1 second, so you can see that it starts from 0 to 1 second. Okay, and then let's check. Okay, the signal frequency is 2, so means at every 1 second there are two cycles. So this is 1 cycle, okay, up to here, and then the second cycle. Okay, and the sampling frequency means there are 8,192 points from 0 to 1 second. Okay, there are 8,192 points from 0 to 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to try to change this to 5. Okay, let's see. Run it again. Okay, and now you see it has been updated. So now there is 5 signals in 1 second. Okay, if I change it to 500, okay, now there are 500 signals in 1 second. So if I zoom in, you'll see that there are the signals. Okay, there are 500 signals in 1 second. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play to it a little bit fun. I'm going to play sound. Okay, so I'm going to play the sound of this signal y. Okay, and the frequency and the sampling frequency. Okay. Okay. So what you're going to hear if I run this code, right? It's a tone. I'm not sure if let me put it louder. I'm sure you can hear it. I'm going to play it again. Okay. So that is the tone of 500 hertz. Okay. If I'm going to change this to 1000 hertz, okay, I'm going to run this again. Okay, you can hear that the frequency is higher. Okay, we'll do one more time. Okay, so that is playing the frequency of 1000 hertz at 1 second. In 1 second. Okay, so now we have done the script. So let's go to the app designer. So how to open the app designer is by typing app designer. Okay, again, this app designer is a new thing. So it was only released 2016 onwards. Before that, we had another tool called as Guide. Guide is still there, but we highly encourage those with a new version to change from Guide, okay, to App Designer. Okay, so App Designer is way much easier to design your apps. Okay, so this is the app interface. As you can see, on the left side, you have your component libraries. Okay, I'm going to show you just a preview of the components. You have axes, you have buttons, checkbox, edit fields, numeric and text, and many more. You even have gauges, okay, and you can knobs and etc. Okay, there are many other things. And the center portion here is, as I inform you, there is the this is where the form is. You can just drag and drop and put your system here. Example, I'm going to drag this here. This is my axis, and then put the axis this big. And on the top right, you see that there is a thing called as design view and code view. Okay, design view is where you see the figure. Okay, where you design your app. And code view is the apps that are the codes that are behind the scenes running this this form. Okay, so so there are many codes in here, but not to worry. These are all the standard codes that is done for you automatically. Okay, you don't need to change these codes, and even if you want to change it, you can't change it. Okay, okay. So once I put the component here, you see that there is the UI figure here already. Okay, so I'm going to call this one. You can rename it here. I'm going to call this one as axis 1. Axis. I'm going to call it as axis. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few edit fields. So make sure you select. I'm going to make sure I select the correct one. This is. I'm going to change a numeric. So I'm going to put a numeric field. So here I'm going to call it as the signal. This is I'm going to call it as a sampling frequency. Okay, sampling frequency in hertz. Okay. So what you see, what I just did is that when I click on here, the properties of this thing will appear here. Okay, so whatever that you want to change on your components, you can just do it here. For example, I want to change this into a bigger font. Let's say I change it to 16. Okay, then it will be bigger. Okay, let me change back to 12. Or I want the the background color to be green. You can just leave it there as green. Okay. So and the initial value I want it to be just now as I've done in the code is 8192 hertz. Okay. So this one I'm going to change the name of this component to be sampling. Okay, this part is important because this is where your code is going to refer to. Okay, so remember this app dot sampling frequency. Whatever that you put in here will be will be where your code will be referring to. Okay, and then for this one I'm going to call it as signal frequency in hertz. See hertz, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to start off by 2 hertz, and this one I will call it as signal frequency. Okay, and I'm going to put the. Sorry, it's a bit. Sorry, it's a bit noisy. Maybe someone has to turn off the audio. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another one checkbox an edit numeric field. Okay. Okay. Here I'm going to call it as end time. Okay. End time. And plot and a button. Okay. And this button, I'm going to use it to plot the graph. When I click on it, okay, when I click on this, after keying in everything here, my end aim is to when I click on this button, it will plot the graph. Okay, and this checkbox is whether I wish to turn off and on the grid. So I'm going to put that grid on or off. Okay, so this plot graph, I'm going to simplify it just as plot. Depending on how you like to code, for myself, I like to make it standardized. Okay, if you see, I put all small letters over here. Okay, MATLAB is a very sensitive program, so even if one letter here become caps, it will not be able to detect the code. Okay, so my style is I like to put a space, an underscore between my two words, and then and make sure all is in small caps. But it's all depending on your style of coding. Okay, all right. So I have my basic components here already. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some callback. So as I told you just now, when I click on this plot button, I want the graph to be plotted. So this is where I want to put the callback. Okay, so I just right click on it and I click add a callback. So what you can see is that MATLAB automatically creates this function here for me to add the callback. So in here, what I need to do is because I already create the code just now. Okay, this earlier code, right? So I'm just going to take this, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to copy it here. Okay, copy it here. Okay, so before this, we actually get the sampling frequency just by typing it like this. But now we know that we need to get this frequency from the here. This sampling frequency from here. So what can we do? So what you need to do is you have to change this to refer to the button over here. Okay, the sampling frequency. And remember that it is this thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to follow f dot sam underscore frequency. I must make sure that it's the same as what I selected here. Okay, and its value. Okay, and the signal, I'm going to get it from the signal frequency. So I'm just going to put it as signal. You can see the value. Okay, the end time. Okay, this one is fs. Fs has been specified, so we don't need to worry. And end time. End time, it's actually I'm just going to change this to end time. End time, okay. And then t y2 pi f6. F6 is here, t is there, so it's okay, it's good. And then I'm going to plot py, and I need to specify where I'm going to plot to, which is on axis 1 over here. So I'm going to set here, I'm going to plot on axis py. Okay, so to test whether these codes work, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it first as I have app 3, so I'm going to save it first as app number 4. Okay, save it first as app number 4, and then if you want to see, if you want to test it out, just click run. Okay, and then your app will appear. Okay, this is the working app, and let's test it. Let's test if it works. I hope it works. Okay, there's error. Okay, let's see. Send frequency. Okay, so the good thing about MATLAB is that it will pop up the error immediately. Okay, so you can see here I missed the P. So as I told you before, that MATLAB is a very sensitive program. So I'm going to run it again, see if it works. Okay, and plot the graph. Okay, let me try it again. Plot axis. Okay. Okay, something is wrong here. 1 divided by s. Oh, because I put the end time as 0. Sorry about that. Let me change the end time. Okay, end time. I'm going to change the value to 1 second. Okay, let me try this again. And save and run again. Okay, I'm going to plot again. Okay, so now you can see it works. So our app works. So if so what you can see here is that the end time is 0 to 1 because here we set as 1. So if I'm going to change this to 2 and apply it again, it will be 2 seconds. Okay, and then if I change the sample, I'm going to change it back to 1 1. Okay, plot graph, and sample frequency I'm going to put as 5. Plot graph again. So now there are 5 signals over here. Okay, so that's great. Our app works for the first thing, and now I'm going to show you how we can now code for the checkbox. Okay, I'm going to my aim is to, when I check this box, the grid will turn on, and when I uncheck it, the grid will turn off. So how do I do that in MATLAB? Okay, so I'm going back to my form, and then I'm going to create another callback for grid. Okay, and create a value change function here. So what you can see is that automatically it has this code here, value, getting the value from the checkbox. Okay, so the value will be 1 if the checkbox is being checked, and the value will be 0 if the checkbox is being unchecked. So I'm going to use that thing and code here. If the value, okay, is equals to 1, okay, I'm going to turn on the grid. So I'm going to set the app.axis, okay, and the x grid, okay, x grid, and then I'm going to turn it on. Okay, maybe some of you will be asking me, how do I know this thing? Okay, x grid on or off. Okay, so let me show you something. Okay, I'm going to put this thing. Okay, here's where you can debug your codes. Okay, I'm going to run this. Okay, I'm going to run this syntax error. Okay, just let me put this n first. Okay, and okay, so what this debugging point means is that when I click on an event that associate with this function here, which is the checkbox, okay, it will stop here to let me see what's happening. So I'm going to click on this, and you see it will go to a debugging mode. Okay, this means debugging mode. And if I go back to MATLAB, I can actually debug it. A K here means it's in a debugging mode. So from here now, I can then see, okay, if I go to app, okay, dot axis, I can see all the properties for the axis. Okay, app.axis, I can see all the properties. So I can then know that if I want to turn the grid on or off, okay, in an X direction, I can refer to here. Okay, currently it's off, so if I want to turn it on, I have to use this to turn it on, off. If I want to change the color, I can put X grid the color to be another value, and it will be another color. Okay, so that's how you can go into your to see the more details of your app. Okay, so I'm going to click debugging, and now, okay, I turn on the x-axis, and I also will turn on the y-axis. Okay, and else, which means when it is unchecked, okay, the X grid will be off. Okay, and then when I turn on the Y grid, off the Y grid. Okay, so this should be working. So let's try it out. So I'm going to run it again, and then let's try it. Okay, grid on and off. Okay, there's an error. X grid on your axis. Okay. What's the error? Is the O? I think it's this. Change. I think it's there might be something wrong with the O there. Okay, let me try to run this again. See if it works. Okay, so now it works. So you can see now when I check it, the grid will be on, and when I uncheck it, the grid will be off. So I'm going to test everything. When I plot the graph, okay, the graph comes out. When I plot the grid comes out. Okay, so all is good. And change this one to 5. Okay, it's all working well. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to add on is now I'm going to show you how you can add a slider so that we can slide the frequency and at the same time play the sound. Okay, so I'm going back to my design view, and then I'm going to add a slider. Okay, and in this slider, what I'm planning to do is that this will be the frequency. Okay, I'm going to call it the frequency slider. Signal frequency slider. Okay, I'm going to put the minimum value of 20. 20 is because the human hearing range frequency is from 20 to 20,000. Oh, sorry. I'm going to start with 20. The minimum value is 20, and I'm going to put the maximum value of 1,000 hertz. Okay, so you can see automatically this slider has changed to a range from 20 to 1,000. Okay, so now I'm going to add a callback. Okay, again, as I told you, there is a value change or value changing. So I'm going to want to play the sound when it is finished. So I'm going to use a value change function. Okay, so automatically this function will count for you the value change. So again, automatically MATLAB will tell you the value for the slider. This is the value. So I'm just going to use that, okay, and I simply going to copy and paste this code from my button just now. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Okay, just now we get the signal frequency from here, but now we are going to change it. The signal frequency, I'm going to get it from value. Okay, and time here remains unchanged. Plot axis TX1. Okay, this looks good. Let's try running it. Okay, it should work. Let's try. So I'm going to, yeah, so now it's working. So you can see that when I change using the slider, the frequency changes. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to play the sound. When I change the slider, I will play the tone. So I'm just going to add sound Y is here, and then FS, the sampling frequency. Okay, so we'll run it again. Let's see now. So what is going to happen now is that anytime when I change this slider, okay, it will plot the graph, and also at the same time it will play the frequency sound. So example, I put it here. Okay, not sure if you guys can hear it or not, but there is the tone being played at this frequency. Okay. Okay. So what happened is when I change this slider, the graph will be updated, and also it will play the sound. Okay. And let me try back if this plot graph buttons work. It works, the grid works, and the slider works. Okay. So this is an example of how you can create an application. Okay. So next, what I'm going to share with you next is if you're happy with this app already, okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to share it with your colleagues. Okay. So as I mentioned just now on the slide, there are 3 ways of sharing. The first way is if you go to your designer here, right? Okay, if you go under this share button, see there are 3 ways of sharing your apps. Okay, so again, the difference between this is when your other colleague has MATLAB, then you just share it as an app. This is to the web, and this is when your colleague doesn't have MATLAB. Okay, so right here, this is with MATLAB, and this one is no MATLAB. Oops, sorry. Here is no MATLAB. Okay, all right. So let's go to share and just click on this MATLAB icon here. So the app that I want to share here is known as app4.mlapp. Okay, and I'm just going to key in this me, okay, james.ang@techsource-asia.com, company TechSource. Okay, the summary, this app plays the tone of a sick. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the tone. Okay, and then some description. Change the slider frequency. Example. Okay, and then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to click package. Okay, and it has already packaged it. And let's open the output folder. Okay, so you can see now there is the new app for over here. So this is the package app that you can share with your colleagues. Okay, I'm going to share with you this app after this presentation and all the codes and the .ctf file and all of this. Okay, so not to worry. So again, I'm go here. Okay, so what you can do is that this app has been created for you. Share it with your colleague. When your colleague receives it, right, just double click. Okay, this is exactly what your colleague is going to see. Double click on it. You can see here install. Okay, and then you click install. Okay, then if you go to your app folder, you see your app file has been installed. Okay, but in here I can't open it because I'm still on the same folder. Let me go back one folder. Okay, so if I open this app now, right? Okay, the same thing will appear. Okay, so again, this is not from the web designer. This is from the install app. Okay, this is from the install app. So your colleagues will then be able to play with your app just like that. Okay, I'm going to share this with you all after this and let you all play with it. Okay, you want to uninstall the app, just click here and then uninstall it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can share your app on the web. Okay, so now we go to your web app. Okay, and then this tool will appear. This is again similarly, you just save whatever that you want and key everything in, package it. Okay, and after you package it, a .ctf file will appear. Okay, so while waiting for this, so what I'm going to show you here is that you can go to your help file, right, and then you type there install web app. Okay, then you go to the second one, install MATLAB web app server. Okay, then after you follow the instructions here, this is free by the way. If you have MATLAB, you can do it. Okay, install, just follow everything here, and then you will have an icon on your window. Okay, that looks like this. Drag here. After you install, you will have an icon that looks like this. Double click on it, right? Okay, so this is the package app for web server, web apps. Okay, so it has been completed. So this is completed. Okay. Okay. So so what you can do is you can then open this file and you see there's a .ctf file over here. Okay. 1 second. Something. Okay. .ctf file over here. Okay. And then, sorry, my web app server is taking some time to on. Just let me. Okay. So when I double click on that web app server, this window will appear. Okay. So this will be where you want to put your apps into the .ctf. Okay. So what you need to do is after you generate your CTF, just drag it, copy and paste it. Okay. Copy and paste it onto your apps folder. Okay. And then just go to your home page Okay, and now because I've installed the web app server onto my laptop, okay, now I can see the one that I built here on this web page. Okay, and again, this is only for internal system, internal network, which is the intranet. So if you have your own company intranet, you can then install this on your laptop. Your desktop will be the server, and then everyone can use this app. Okay, so now I'm showing you I'm actually running it on the web. If I'm going to share this with my colleagues can actually see it also. Okay, so again I'm going to play this. Okay, so now it's actually running on the app. Okay, so this is how you share it on the web. And the last thing that I want to share with you is how you can I'm going to stop this server. Okay, because this, okay, the last thing I show it to you is how you can share it as an executable. Okay, I think this is what many people are looking for also. So an executable means it's only the binary codes, and then you can share it for free, royalty free, to infinite computers. Okay, so but this is using the toolbox called MATLAB compiler. So if you are the developer for your company, you can develop your applications and then share it with 1,000 people in your company. Okay, so I'm going to package this one. Okay, app4_2. So now it will create the binary. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, while waiting for it to create, I'm going to the command window. Okay, to run this application outside from MATLAB. Okay, so it's still creating. Okay, so while waiting, maybe yeah, it's actually almost the end of the presentation already. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now. Okay, sorry, it's done. So now I have created the executable. Okay, so this is where the files are being located. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to the command prompt. Okay, I'm going to cd to the folder. Okay, and I'm going to close MATLAB. I'm going to turn off MATLAB. Okay, so just to show you that now the app is running without MATLAB. Okay, so I have turned off MATLAB. As you can see, there's nothing over here already. Okay, so now I'm going to run this application app4.2.exe from my command window, running it as an executable. So I'm going to write app4_2. Okay, and yeah, it's appearing. Go here. So what you can see now is this app is running by itself without MATLAB. Okay, so if I try to run it, okay, it is working. Okay, okay, so again, just to reiterate, this one requires MATLAB compiler. Okay, to generate executable, you require MATLAB compiler. Okay, so that's all for my presentation today. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. So now I am open to questions from the participants. If you all have any questions now. Okay, if there are no questions, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this webinar will be useful for you all. So, yep, that's all. Signing off. Thank you and have a good day. Bye bye.